why not become a sponsor on File Coast Radio, the fastest growing radio station in the UK? Over 1,000 ads for an entire year. Just £390.
In the mix. In the mix.
Hi, this is Britney Spears.
What up, this Jay-Z.
This is Jennifer Lopez.
The mix. With the hottest DJ, Lindsay Nuts.
Well, as I mentioned to you before the last couple of tracks, I'm going to play for you next a new charity single that's been released just yesterday, actually, and it's called A Song For Edward, and it's written by a chap by the name of Jay Stansfield. Now, I want to explain to you what it's all about, so I think the easiest way for me to do that is to read out for you what Jay Stansfield, the songwriter, has had to say about it himself. Now, he said, "When I set out as a songwriter and left my full-time job as an ICT technician in a primary school, I was clear about what I wanted to achieve. I wanted to build the biggest and most respected songwriting company in the world. I've been making music and performing music, recording it, producing it and releasing it for over 15 years. And even though it's fun and exciting, there's always been something slightly self-centered about it. It's like that with a lot of music and art. People sing about relationship breakdowns, how they feel, what happened to them, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. And it's a healthy outlet. However, for me, I've always been fascinated by writing songs about people. There's something deeper when it comes to trying to understand life from someone else's perspective. Something more powerful when writing about someone's life candidly and personally." And then Jay goes on to say, "This is where Edward comes in." Now, Edward D was a young boy who sadly passed away at the age of just 10 years old from meningitis and sepsis. His family set up a charity to raise money in his memory, and I met his mum Elizabeth at a networking event. We talked about my songwriting services, so Elizabeth asked me if I could write a song about him. A few weeks passed, and then I was humbled and honoured to be invited to sit down and have a chat about him over a coffee and biscuits in their hometown of Lytham St Anne's in Lancashire. The more we talked about him, the more it became clear just how loved and noticed he was within the community. A real character with vigour and a lust for life. And his passing has united the community in ways you could only imagine. The support for the charity and for this young man's family is mind-boggling, and the drive, passion and solidarity to raise money is commendable. Jay then goes on to say, "When I came back to my studio and I began pulling our conversation together into lyrics, I sat down at my piano and I started writing. I could almost feel his energy jumping off the page, and it was an emotional process writing the melodies. It had to be uplifting and determined, as Edward clearly was in life, and most importantly written for him. Something to sing to him, to his memory, rather than a song about him. And therefore came about A Song for Edward." We'll play that for you now, and then I'll tell you how you can help by downloading this track and raising money for the Edward D Fund. And here follows a short snippet from the song A Song for Edward.
Edward D, you were young, you were free. If there's anyone to be, it's Edward. Edward D, and you are me. You're the rain upon my face. You're the winner in the race. Edward D, you were young, you were free. If there's anyone to be, it's Edward. If there's anyone to be, it's Edward. If It's Edward.
Ah, yes, that was A Song for Edward by Jay Stansfield. Now, if you'd like to know more about the Edward D Fund, you can head over to the Facebook page. Basically, since Edward sadly passed away at age just 10 years, Mum Liz has set up this charity, and the aim of it is to raise awareness of meningitis, to raise funds for the community via the Edward D Fund and for Meningitis Now. In relation to the single, as I said to you, it was released yesterday via amuse.io, and it's been released as a charity single across all major platforms, streaming services and Bandcamp, and all profits will be going to the charity. I had a message sent to me this morning from Liz, Edward's mum, who said if you could mention we'd really like to get this track into the download charts. We have a week to get the downloads up. All usual download platforms, and links to this can also be found on the Edward D Facebook page too. There's also a link on Bandcamp page where you can donate and pay what you want. And she's also said, we really need the community of Fylde, Blackpool, St Anne's and Lytham to give this some people power and support this local charity. I absolutely agree with you, Liz, and I'm looking forward to meeting you on Wednesday when you're going to come into the studio and we shall have a nice chat about the single, and you can tell us all about Edward as well, and also how your charity work is going.
You are tuned to Fylde Coast Radio, the fastest growing radio station in the UK.
Playing music you won't hear anywhere else. Stay tuned to Lindsay Knott at Fylde Coast Radio.